Senator Kyle Rittenhouse is getting dogpiled on social media for lending his endorsement to a Texas candidate who, of course, wants to eliminate federal gun laws. I mean, yeah. He writes, "Early voting has started in Texas, and I urge you all who can get out and vote Andy Hopper for Texas House District 64. Andy's opponent has a concerning track record, including voting to codify portions of Biden's gun control agenda into law and failing to vote in support of protecting Texans from unconstitutional federal gun laws. We cannot let our Second Amendment rights be eroded any further. That's why it's absolutely crucial to elect Andy Hopper, a fearless and relentless defender of our liberties." That's right, our liberties to carry around weapons, deadly weapons. Now, Hopper's website described 4 key components that he believes should be honored when it comes to gun rights. Should be sacrosanct. Federal property on Texas soil is still Texas soil and should not invalidate the right to carry firearms. Wait, federal property on Texas soil? Well, that would make it federal property. I'm just saying. So, federal laws would apply. But apparently he's like, no, let's seize federal land. Great. Wonderful. He also says he wants to expand constitutional carry to extend the same rights and privileges as licensed carry. So what does that mean? It just means that there would be no point to getting a license at all because it would just be the same. Like, constitutional carry just means under the Second Amendment, you can carry any weapon you want anytime. Well, that's it. Then why get a license? You wouldn't need a license at all. Also, to never remove the constitutional rights of citizens using red flag laws without due process, and of course to make Texas an actual Second Amendment sanctuary. It'd be a sanctuary state, but for your gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Now, on the red flag laws, by the way, you can't use the red flag laws to eliminate or to get rid of somebody's gun temporarily, without due process. Wait, red flag laws are meant to, again, disarm a person who may be unstable, may be a threat to themselves or people around them. So again, temporarily, like, hey, you're acting kind of crazy right now. You're saying things like you want to kill yourself or you want to kill other people, and your house is like an arsenal. We might want to come in and just kind of hold on to your guns for a minute so you don't do something that you might regret. That's what a red flag law is, okay? Now, in order to do that, there is a process that you go through in having to prove that this person is a threat to themselves or others. You see where I'm going with this? That kind of sounds like due process to me, because you have to go through a court in order to get that order. Yeah, so I don't know what he's talking about, but it doesn't surprise me at all that this is the guy who Kyle Rittenhouse is like, yes, that's my guy. Look, here's the thing about some of these Second Amendment guys, okay? They're frightened. Kyle Rittenhouse is scared. That's it. Look, the more, in my experience, the more you want to get rid of gun laws, okay, sensible ones, and just have a free-for-all when it comes to weapons, it just means, to me, it seems like you're more afraid, okay? The more afraid you are, the more fervent you are, whether it be afraid of the government, right? I'll beat that government, come for me. The big bad government, yeah, which, by the way, does possess some pretty potent weapons that they could use against people. I mean, horrifying, if they use it against the populace. Pretty sure an AR-15 wouldn't stop a drone or a tank or anything like that. So you'd have a difficult time with that, and you probably need to get yourself some better weapons than what's available on the civilian market. So, not to give them ideas, but really, if you wanted to go for the I want to protect ourselves against the government, then you should be lobbying for, RPGs, C4, and things like that. arms like M4s, M16s, stuff like that that would actually be effective in the case of fighting against government tyranny. Kind of funny that they're not doing that, but maybe they are. I don't know. Scary when you think about it, though. But again, the things that they're afraid of: government, black people in the cities, obviously, and immigrants. I mean, that's the things that these very, very, we're going to get rid of all gun regulations and everyone needs to be armed, i.e., all white people need to be armed. That's what they're seemingly afraid of. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that people who own guns are afraid. No. I think there are legitimate reasons for people to own weapons. Of course, there's, maybe you're a collector, right? And that's cool. Like you collect weapons, you want to display them. That's cool. That's fine. You're a hunter. Okay, totally legit. Like I like venison. That's good stuff. Somebody's got to take on those, 30 to 40 feral hogs, or is it 30 to 50? I don't remember. Or hey, you could even competitive shoot. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. And of course, there's the completely legitimate reason of wanting to defend yourself. Yeah, reasonable. But generally, being reasonable people, as a lot of gun owners are, they're fine with certain rules. Waiting periods, background checks, limits on magazine sizes. This is something that most people agree with, again, including most gun owners. I am not, when I talk about gun owners being afraid of certain people, I'm talking about a very, very small subsection of people who are just amassing arsenals because they think there's going to be like the second Civil War or something. Okay. The people that are constantly afraid. Okay. They're the ones that, for example, feel the need to walk around with their weapons on display while they're shopping at Walmart. Okay. Now hold on there, Tex. Okay. You don't need that weapon in the, in the bread aisle. All right. Like a horde of feral, hogs are not going to come pouring out of the meat section. Okay. That's not going to happen. You don't need your weapon there. Okay. Just saying. But they're constantly out there looking for threats when, ironically, everyone around them sees them as threats because they're the ones that are walking around with weapons. Now, Andy Hopper sounds like this kind of guy. Looking at his political positions, I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is his kind of, he's that kind of guy, and seems to have like a lot of these people, a real problem with brown people. In an interview, for example, he said, our legislature should require the governor to provide suitable rules of engagement to deter and repel all illegal border crossings and authorize use of force against cartels. Okay, which, by the way, would involve invading the sovereign territory of Mexico in order to go, cross that border. Something that we really shouldn't be doing, invading neighbor countries to go after cartels. In fact, a better way to actually cut off cartels is to, eliminate the demand or at least reduce the demand of certain drugs. And there are ways that you can do that don't involve escalating the drug war, which has already failed in many different ways. Now, there's more. He also, one of his positions says, Texas must end all economic incentives to illegals, in-state tuition, free public education, etc., and require E-Verify for all employers in the state. I would also support making human trafficking a capital offense, meaning you will be killed for it. Okay. Now, look, I've talked about states that have, done this E-Verify. Florida, for example, you have in these places a lot of immigrant workers who have left. You have vegetables, produce rotting in the fields because you can't get enough workers because of these anti-immigrant laws. And of course, you have a lot of these Republicans that don't want a pathway to citizenship so that people can come here legally, can work here legally, do the jobs that us Americans don't actually want to do, like work the fields, and eventually become a citizen. And by the way, any good, I think, humane, progressive policy on immigration has to include protections that make sure that ensure that these workers that come over and do these jobs are not exploited. And I think that's something that gets left out of these conversations on immigration. But anyway, look, a lot of people on the right love this exploitation. Corporations love this exploitation, et cetera, et cetera. There's that. Now, he also, getting back to Mr. Hopper, he apparently agrees with Mike Pillow that the voting machines must be eliminated, and it's even called property taxes, quote unquote, immoral. Property taxes, immoral. Asked about how to fund things, he proposed a regressive consumption tax, which of course punishes poor people. No wonder Rittenhouse loves this guy. Wow. Now, some people have taken to the comments to criticize Rittenhouse for, attempting to play Republican Kingmaker. Quote, "Oh, look, the murderer has an opinion about guns," one person wrote. Another said, "Yeah, everybody listen to Murdering Kyle about politics." A third person says, "Ha! Person with proven track record of terrible decision-making endorses state politicians." Yikes. I know. That's a bellwether right there. Really, good example of, ooh, this is advice that I shouldn't take. Fourth person added, "Shocker, murderers worried about gun control laws." Well, there's that self-interest involved, right? Others have told Rittenhouse to go get a job, because he claims to be broke. Rittenhouse's criminal defense attorney said the 21-year-old has lost all his money since he was acquitted in the Wisconsin shootings. So one commenter said, "Get off Twitter and get a job." Another asked, "Do you have a job yet?" Hey, look, to be fair, there's only so much grifting that you can do, right? So what he's doing, Rittenhouse, is he's, I guess, pivoting to try to play Kingmaker to a state that I'm not even sure he lives in. I don't know if he's moved to Texas or not. But either way, putting his endorsement and thinking that it carries some sort of weight, maybe it does. I don't know. Now, in addition to this, by the way, not long ago, Rittenhouse wondered why his name was revealed, while the shooters at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade were still under wraps. So this is another thing that he got piled on for. He asked, "I am trying to comprehend why the government was quick to reveal my name after I defended myself, but still haven't released the names of the Kansas City shooters." The government did it. The government was quick to reveal my name. You mean the Wisconsin government, right? As well as the press? Well, I mean, it's pretty easy. Wisconsin charged Rittenhouse as an adult, meaning he was not considered a minor, even though he's 17 at the time, and therefore his identity was not protected. See, minors, when they get charged, as long as they're not being charged as an adult, have their identities protected because they are minors. That's the reality. Now, in Missouri, police did arrest Lindell Mays, 23, and Dominic M. Miller, 18. Both happen to be adults, so their identities are revealed. But on February 16th, before the adult suspects were publicly identified, Jackson County Family Court said 2 juveniles were arrested on gun-related and resisting arrest charges. However, since those charges don't really involve them being charged as adults for them, due to the nature of their alleged crimes, their identities are protected. So there's your answer, Kyle. It seems pretty easy. You just got to take a couple minutes to look things up. Might also want to look up some of Mr. Hopper's, policy positions. And you see that they're, well, hey, maybe you'll agree with them even more. But I'm guessing, though, Kyle just looked at he likes guns? I like guns? Yes, of course. Now, Kyle, I'm going to guess that he wasn't looking for real answers. I think he was looking for sympathy. Look, the guy was acquitted by, even after killing 2 people. I don't think he deserves any sympathy, especially since the only thing that he's famous for, in the news for, is killing 2 people. And I don't really think that that's something you ought to be proud of or celebrated for.